Calling from a 509 area
Even
code.
in their native environment.
That's because their horns aren't as sharp as they should be. 509.
Hello?
Hello?
I can't hear you. Over the sound of this delicious Washington Honeycrisp apple.
All right. It's Ronald Raygun calling. And the other night...
God damn, these are good.
The other night on Twitter, he was claiming to be paid in apples. All right, well, I may have to mute you. He was claiming to be paid in apples and Honeycrisp, and I simply made the point that my understanding is that Washington and Oregon State are begun overproducing Honeycrisps, and it is going to decimate the apple markets and the apple growers on the East Coast because they're coming in with all these Honeycrisps. They're going to travel. Because the Honeycrisp...
If you can't hang with the big boys, stay at home.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We're in the East Coast.
As far as I'm concerned, you guys just got totally owned.
Well, how about this? How about you guys eat
Free
the
market.
apples you produce?
Free market. Hey. Free market.
Wait, does this mean apple juice prices are going to be good this fall?
I don't know if
it's called the
if it get passed
invisible
down.
hand.
I don't know if it get passed down. What it's going to mean is you're going to be less variety of apples because you're going to see a lot of orchards close down on the onslaught of Honeycrisp. And the smart orchards
on the East Coast.
Well, you're going to see problems, frankly, on the West Coast.
Can you play that little sad Hulk music, the walking away music?
Oh, yeah. What is that?
No.
That
yeah, you know which one it is.
I do. I wrote it.
As you describe how we're putting all the East Coast farmers out of business. What?
Yeah, here it is. Here we go. Oh, I like this one. I got to bring this... I gotta get this on my machine.
I like the timing of that with the apple snap right there.
Yep.
You know, I have a special affinity for this song because when Bob's Burgers, and I should say Bob's Burgers, there's going to be a movie, and I'm going to count on you people to demand that Hugo is in it. But when Bob's Burgers, this is a little story about the pilot. Now, I don't know why I'm telling you, Ronald Raygun, but...
I think with the Paw Patrol concept and everything, it's clear that he's in the game.
So the pilot of Bob's Burgers, I played the health inspector who discovers that they're serving human flesh, that they're cannibals. And the pilot... in the pilot, it turns out I was wrong.
You know what the best line you delivered, may I just interject?
No, wait a second. That was not the original storyline of the pilot. In the original pilot, they were, in fact, cannibals. And my role as health inspector is to try and find out and expose them as cannibals. And so I remember at the time saying, oh, my God, I'm like that guy in The Incredible Hulk. Not Bill Bixby, but the reporter who is on to Bill Bixby. And by like season 2, all they did is showed him for 30 seconds in like a car, just going like this, seeing if he can find Bill Bixby as Bill Bixby has left town. And I'm like, this is going to be the greatest gig I've ever had. I'm just going to have to show up and say 3 words or just have a look. And you got to say something because it's animated. And that's all I'm going to have to do. And then the network said,
cartoons work.
Yeah, the network said, yeah, we don't want them to be cannibals.
I think
and then my role started to
I think the reach would be a little bit more limited with the cannibal storyline.
Oh,
yeah,
definitely.
No, but the line that I'm also assuming you probably ad-libbed it, but what made and the only episode of Bob's Burgers I've ever seen was the pilot, and you say at some point like, it's not just that they're cannibals, and I won't try to do the Yugo. I'll do like a half Yugo voice, but you're like, it's like above like the what is it like the FDA acceptable 5.2%.
Michael does Hillary. It sounds like Hugo.
Yeah, Hillary sounds like Hugo. There should not be more than 5% in human flesh. But Bernie says 0 because he's pie in the sky.
That was a long time ago.
Hey,
Yes.
I wanted to give a shout out to Cat P Super Nintendo on Twitter, who helped me finish my Paw Patrol concept. So I think we've resolved some of your concerns, and I'll be calling back in with that shortly.
Okay, great. I appreciate that.
One quick thing. I tweeted out a story about an Iraq war veteran who's currently detained in immigration detention in Tacoma, and he was denied bond by an immigration judge. He does have some criminal history related to his substance abuse after he got home from Iraq, but he's been through treatment, and I guess he was doing pretty good before he got picked up. But the judge found him to be a danger and denied bond, which means like you can be accused of murder and get criminal bond, but immigrants in immigration custody are often denied bond, even if they've only been accused of a crime. But it's really sad. This guy's from Korea. I guess he came here when he was 5. He's a green card holder, and they're trying to deport him to Korea. He doesn't speak Korean or anything. And these cases can, if there's appeals and whatnot, I mean, he could be in detention for 2 years or longer, fighting his deportation. And one of the things that happens, I've got a guy in there right now with schizophrenia, and he's been detained for about 1.5 years. And his case is at the Ninth Circuit, so I mean, he might be there another year. And people, with schizophrenia, or this guy who's got probably PTSD and issues with drug abuse, after all of this is over, it's just going to be really hard for him, no matter what happens.
Right.
People have needs, and there's no services in there. There's no AA meetings. There's no anything.
Is the ACLU? Has anybody like contemplated or attempted? I would imagine so. Like trying to sue. I mean, isn't there a right to a speedy trial here? I mean, if people are being detained for 2 years, it seems to me that that fundamental right is being transgressed, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've never thought about that, but the trial itself will usually take a couple months, but then it's the appeal process that can take a really long time. They do get new bond hearings after 6 months in the Ninth Circuit, where we happen to be, and the government is supposed to bear the burden of proving with clear and convincing evidence that they're either a danger or a flight risk. But what happens is most of the immigration judges are former ICE trial attorneys. And so you go into court and you can have all this evidence that the person, is rehabilitated, they've been seeking counseling or whatever, and the judge will just say, okay, they're a danger. I mean, that's literally, the hearings take 2 minutes, and you just get steamrolled, or at least I do, because I'm probably not that great of an attorney. But even the good attorneys I talk to get steamrolled. Anyways, so it's really sad what's going on with this guy. And I did read today also, and I'm sorry for the filibuster, but Stephen Miller is trying to draft up some sort of, they're holding DACA hostage, and he wants to basically cut legal immigration in half in exchange for some sort of DREAM Act. So if people are already calling representatives for gun control or health care, throw in a line there about a clean DREAM Act without concessions. So thanks for the call or for taking my call, and talk to you later.
Ronald Raygun, thank you. Horrible. I mean, just horrible. Hi, folks. Sam Seder here. We still need your help on our Patreon page. YouTube ads have come back, but not nearly as much as we had before. So if you can help us out, any little bit helps. Head over to our Patreon page right at this URL, and you'll help us keep helping you by making videos